Howdy folks, welcome back to my World of Tanks replays with the mighty Jingles, and it occurred to me today that I have put up a couple of Type 59 videos, but I've never actually sat down and talked about the tank in the garage, so today's the day, and here it is. Type 59 Tier 8 Chinese medium premium tank. It's not the greatest Tier 8 medium tank, it's certainly not the worst Tier 8 medium tank. It has some good points, it has some bad points, it has some pretty average points, but as a whole, taken as a package, it makes it into a pretty good tank. It's a decent all-rounder. There are certain things that it's very, very good at, and that's probably the armour profile. There are other things that it's not bad at, and that would probably be its mobility. And there are certain things that it just isn't that good at, and that would definitely have to be the gun. But we'll look at each in turn and we'll talk about them in more detail. So first things first, 1300 health. Yeah, it's Joe average as far as its health goes for a tier 8 medium. It's quite a light tank, it only weighs 35.3 tons. However, it doesn't have a very powerful engine. 520 horsepower isn't a lot. But it is quite a light tank, so that engine is good enough to propel it up to 56 kilometers per hour. But it is kind of sluggish. From a cold start, excuse me, from a cold start, this can take a while to get moving. But it's not slow, because the traverse speed, 45 degrees per second, is absolutely phenomenally good. Put that into perspective for you, the T50-2 has a 46 degree per second traverse speed. So, yeah, to all intents and purposes, this thing turns as quickly as a T50-2, and that's pretty damn quick. Now, take that in combination with the fact that the turret turns at 45 degrees per second as well, and that means that if you turn the hull and the turret, you can swing that gun around at 90 degrees per second. So if you're being circled by a light tank and he's trying to outrace your gun, turn your hull as well, and if he's dumb, he won't track you, and you'll be able to kill him. If he's smart, however, the first thing he'll do is he'll blow your tracks off, and then, you know, you're dead. Good luck. And oh, here we go. While I do appreciate, how can I put this, the benefits of fame on YouTube, this, however, unfortunately is the downside. You cannot get anything done without the world trying to message you. Sorry fellas, I'm recording a video. Hi, say hello to YouTube, Belaf and Lone Wolf 96, but I'm in the middle of recording a video, so you're getting ignored. Where were we? Yes, yeah, excellent turret traverse, 45 degrees per second. In company with a 45 degree per second hull traverse means that you can swing that gun around at 90 degrees per second. That's insanely fast. And you should be able to keep that gun pointed at just about anything. View range, 380 meters. Very, very good view range. The best in the game is the M48 pattern with 420 meters. This thing is only 40 meters shorter. However, the signal range is a bit of an issue. It's only 525 meters. Now, as a medium tank, you are one of the best tanks on your team at responding to threats that suddenly break out miles away from where anybody else is. So, for example, if you're on a large map and you're in one corner of the map and you realise that, oh, the guys on the other side are calling for help, you won't be able to see what they're shooting at from where you are because you'll be out of signal range. And if your team are the usuals who only ever type in a chat in order to call everybody noobs and retards and fail teams, and you have to rely on watching the map yourself to figure out whether or not you need to move from where you are to elsewhere, you won't have that information available to you because your signal range is not long enough for friendly tanks on the other side of the map to relay their targets to you. So that is kind of an issue. But it's a very well armoured tank. On paper, the armour doesn't look that impressive. 100mm at the front, 80 at the sides, 45 at the rear. But that 100mm at the front is very well sloped. That amount of sloping increases the effective thickness of that 100mm upper frontal plate to around 120, I think. And any smart Type 59 driver will also angle it by 30 degrees or so, and that increases the effective thickness. And again, I don't know the exact number, but I think it's between 140 and 160 millimeters. So that's really, really good upper frontal plate armor. The lower frontal plate is weaker, but it's a very, very small target, and it's at that really, really steep angle as well. At closer range, less than 50 meters, if you're in a very tall tank, like most of the German heavies, you're probably not going to be able to hit and penetrate that lower frontal plate, because you're going to be firing down at it at such a steep angle. It's just going to bounce. It's guaranteed bounce every time. Now the front of the turret, 200 millimeters thick, and look at how lovely rounded and angled and sloped and bouncy the front of that turret is, and it really, really is like driving a medium T29 or T32. Front of that turret can take an incredible amount of hits without taking any damage whatsoever. They just bounce right off it. So if you do find yourself, and a lot of Type 59 drivers like to get in close and start face hugging you because they know you can't get your gun down to penetrate the upper frontal plate if they're right up close to you, so you have to shoot at the turret, and they just get bounce after bounce after bounce. So everybody's favourite target, the commander's hatch. A smart Type 59 driver will not sit still while he's face hugging you. He will keep moving backwards and forwards. He will keep making random movements, try and throw your aim off so that you can't hit him here until he's ready to shoot you, and then he'll keep moving. If you do get a smart Type 59 driver like that, good luck, and I hope you brought friends. Or I hope you've got a gun with very good penetration. Now, from the sides, anybody can kill a Type 59. From the rear, absolutely anybody can kill a Type 59. Again, just to put this into some sort of perspective, that 45 millimeters of rear hull armour can be penetrated with the high explosive shell of a Tier 5 medium tank howitzer. And that will do all kinds of damage. But the sweet spot when you're shooting at a Type 59, and any Type 59 driver dumb enough to give you the back of his turret, because that's where his ammo rack is, and it's only 65 millimeters thick, any Type 59 driver dumb enough to show that to you deserves to be one-shotted, so please do. And that's where, if you ever get the chance, you always want to shoot a Type 59. And like I said, any driver dumb enough to show you that deserves to have a shell put through it. That's where his ammo rack's situated. A couple of times I have been that dumb, and I've been one-shot killed from 1300 health to nothing by a single shot going in the back of this turret. Right? It can happen. Don't let them take the shot. Now, before we move on to modules and crew skills, the Type 59, it's a Tier 8 premium tank. All of the Tier 8 premium tanks are fantastically good money makers, and the Type 59 probably more so than the others. We haven't talked about the gun. Sorry, right, we'll get back onto that. The gun, right, this is probably the one failing of the tank. The gun isn't, well, it's not bad, it gets the job done, but it's just not very good. 7.5 rate of fire, 175 penetration, 230 damage, 0.39 accuracy is pretty bad. 2.9 second aiming time is pretty bad. Basically, this gun is a cut down version of the T-44's LB1 gun. And the T-44's LB1 gun, while the T-44 badly needed that LB1 gun because its gun selection was rubbish, in my opinion, the LB1 is the worst of the Tier 8 medium tank guns. And this isn't even as good as the LB1. So this is the one part where the Type 59 gets brought back down to earth. Now, the gun is good enough to get the job done. 175 penetration, that's like Russian Tier 7 heavy tank standards of penetration. This is a Tier 8 medium. So, yeah, it'll do. It gets the job done. The damage is distinctly average. But the thing about this gun, and again, this is something that you don't see from looking at the gun stats, you have to take it out and play it, is the size of the aiming circle. Even when it's fully aimed, you're still going to miss shots at 100 meters or more because the aiming circle is just so big. Even if you sit there for the full 2.9 seconds and let it aim down, the aiming circle is big enough that with 0.39 accuracy, shots are going to sail out towards the edge of the aiming circle and they're just going to miss your target. So you need to be prepared to accept that you're going to be shooting at massive heavy tanks 100 meters away from a fully aimed position in this thing, and it's going to miss. This thing really, really excels at point blank range, where that thing just cannot miss. Point blank range, however, is a very dangerous environment to be fighting in. But you do have all that amazing frontal armour. I mean, you're no Super Pershing, but you're a lot more mobile, and the gun's probably better. So, these are factors that you need to take into consideration. Now, yes, Tier 8 premium tanks, they're all great money makers. Even if you have the worst possible game imaginable in the Type 59, where you don't even get to fire a shot before you get one-shotted, you're going to make 20,000 credits in this tank. And that's the same in all the Tier 8 premiums. Although I find the medium Tier 8 premiums are better money makers than the heavies. And purely for one reason. If you look at the Löwe, it's 105mm gun, costs you 1,000 credits every time you fire it. This thing, 252 credits a shot. And the rate of fire isn't that much different. This thing fires 7.5 rounds a minute. The Löwe, where are you? There he is. Rate of fire, yeah, 5 rounds per minute. So it's not that much difference in rate of fire. And this thing costs 4 times as much to pull the trigger. So they're just more economical to run. And they make a butt ton of credits, and the repairs cost next to nothing. You have an average game in this thing, and you're going to, I mean, even if you lose and you have an average game in this thing, you're going to make 40 to 60,000 credits. It holds my record for the most credits earned in one match with 114,000 credits. There are people that get more than that. So, and this is why people have their premium tanks. One, because, well, they're fun tanks. But two, they earn a metric but a ton of cash. Also, the Type 59 has had its matchmaker rebalanced, above and beyond the matchmaking rebalance that was introduced for everybody in 7.5. Now, it will never get into a Tier 10 game. The highest battle tier this thing will ever get into will have Tier 9 tanks in it. So the fact that that gun isn't as good as the other Tier 8 medium tank guns doesn't really matter, because it doesn't have to deal with the same kind of tanks that the other Tier 8 medium tanks have to deal with. So that's nice. Moving on to equipment. Well, any tank that can have a tank gun rammer fitted, you should probably fit a tank gun rammer too, especially if you're serious about playing that tank. I like to have improved ventilation purely because it's like having a free, well, not free, it costs 500,000 credits, but it's like having another brothers in arms on your tank. I have no idea why I have a camouflage net. I probably just had one spare, and I couldn't afford to fit anything else, so I thought, screw it, I'll put a camo net on because they're just taking up space in my depot otherwise. For the third spot, well, you've probably got 3 choices. Vertical stabilizer, enhanced gun laying drive, or coated optics, in that order. Generally speaking, any medium tank any brawling medium tank, not so much on tanks like the E50s of the world, but any brawling medium tank that can fit a vertical stabilizer, you probably want to put a vertical stabilizer on them. 500,000 credits though, so it's a substantial investment. Because this thing has a 2.9 second aiming time, an enhanced gun laying drive also wouldn't be a bad idea. And coated optics, yeah, not a terrible idea, but not as useful as a gun laying drive or a vertical stabilizer. So if I had the cash, that wouldn't be there, and I would have a vertical stabilizer on it, but I don't, so it is. Moving on to crew skills, well, don't pay too much attention to my crew skills. I have no idea why I gave them camouflage. A sudden rush of shit to the brain is the only thing I can think of to explain why I gave a medium tank crew camouflage skills. But I haven't changed it yet because I'm waiting for these skills to hit 100%, and then I'm going to swap it all for Brothers in Arms. What else should you have? Well, for the commander, there aren't that I mean, Sixth Sense is a great skill to have. Oh, well, it's not a skill, it's a perk. Once it reaches 100%, it's a great perk to have for tank destroyers, light tanks. It's still useful for heavy and medium tank drivers, but it's not as essential. And there isn't really anything for the commander that leaps out and says, you need me on a Type 59. So, once you've got Brothers in Arms, if you like Brothers in Arms, there are people that don't like it. I do. Well, repairs is probably a good idea. Or mentor, but there's nothing that really leaps out and says, you must use me on a Type 59 commander. Now the gunner, on the other hand, you definitely, I mean, I'm going for Brothers in Arms first, but you really want Snapshot on this thing for accuracy during turret rotation. And it's probably a good idea to use Snapshot first until it gets to 100%, then pay to swap it for Brothers in Arms if you want to go down that route, and then take Snapshot again. So you're at least getting some use out of it until you get Brothers in Arms up. If you don't want to go for Brothers in Arms, then just get Snapshot right from the word go for your gunner. Definitely want Snapshot on the gunner of this thing. Now, drivers do get a lot of good skills to choose from, but I think the only one you actually need on this thing is off-road driving. Smooth ride, accuracy when firing on the move, no. Just don't fire this tank's gun when it's moving, because it will not hit anything unless you are incredibly lucky. Taking smooth ride isn't going to improve matters. This gun is not accurate enough. The aiming circle is too big. You will not hit anything on the move unless it's at point blank range, in which case you don't need smooth ride anyway. Clutch braking is usually a good skill to go for, but this thing turns so quickly you don't really need it. But the mobility, the low power, relatively low power of the engine, you probably want off-road driving, just so that you move slightly faster, you accelerate faster on when you're off-road. Good skill to have. Loaders, well, the loader on this thing is also the radio operator, but loader and radio operator skills are all a bit... To be honest, I'd go with repairs. Or Brothers in Arms first, and then repairs. And there you have it. That's my Type 59. Now I've got a couple of games I had with it. Basically, it's 3 games that I played today. The first 3 games I played until I managed to get a win in this thing. And they were all pretty entertaining in their own way, and very frustrating in their own way, because the first 2 were horrible defeats, where I did everything I could, but it just wasn't good enough. The team managed to lose anyway. And then the third game, well, we'll see. It's also on one of the new maps, so extra treat there for you. So on with the replays. Well, here it is, the first game, Prokhorovka, and thank God it wasn't an assault map. But I am the only medium tank on our team. They've got a 3001B and a T43. They've also got Leopard and a T15. So we kind of have the light tank advantage, if having more light tanks can be considered an advantage. Tier 9 game, but only one Tier 9 per side. So, yeah, we can certainly make our mark on this match. So, I'm rushing for the hill, because with a bit of luck and a bit of skill, I can probably take out a T43 and a 3001P if they don't work together. I'm not counting on getting any support from the team. I'm the only medium tank. I don't expect the light tanks to come and help me. I certainly don't expect the heavy tanks to come and help me. And that's pretty much exactly what happens. However, rushing for the hill on Prokhorovka from this side of the map, you generally can't get up there fast enough to avoid being flanked by, there we go, the faster of the enemy heavies. Now let's see that size of that aiming circle, that's what I'm talking about. And the aiming time is just, but actually, you know, this guy doesn't know where I am. looks like that camo net was useful after all. So there's a couple of good solid hits on that RS3, but now he's pointing his nose towards me. Oh no, I don't want him to know where I am. Kill this leopard. Yeah, he's shooting in my direction. Oh, but he has other problems in front. Okay. Switch back to this IS-3, but yeah, shooting at him from the front is hardly ideal. Not with 175mm penetration on this gun, but if you keep showing me a side like that, yeah, I will quite happily shoot the side of an IS-3 with this gun all day long. And I'm actually getting some pretty lucky accuracy rolls here.
They're hit.
Ugh. Yeah, that one was always going to miss. Come on, finish this guy off. He's killed a KV-3.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
KV-5 even. Okay, so there's... I mean, that'll work for that one. That was a good kill. We missed the Tiger 2, but oh, look at that. Actually, well, we can still penetrate the lower hull of a Tiger 2. Blew his tracks off and did some damage. It's always a bonus.
We've got them.
Oh, it's going to need one more. Oh, somebody else gets it. Okay, finish off the Tiger P. Yep, there we go.
Knocked down.
Right, 3 kills of the 4 kills our team has achieved. That is rarely a good sign. And the guys that we've killed aren't. And where the hell are their mediums? Just occurred to me. Why are their medium tanks not? They could have killed me. In fact, if any of their medium tanks had come over this hill, I would be a dead tank. Because 1, I'd have 2 medium tanks coming over the hill, and 2, I'd have 2 medium tanks coming over the hill spotting me for all those heavy tanks. I would have been a dead Type 59. So there's always that to be grateful for. And their T-43 is in the middle of the field. Okay. And there you go. That's why you do not shoot with the Type 59 on the move. Because it is just going to miss. Size of the aiming circle.
Enemy is hit.
It was a lucky shot. Didn't wait for it to fully aim. Well, we're still not winning. That T-43 is playing a hell of an opportunistic game. Not entirely sure what it is he's killed, but look at him. He's surrounded. And he's just not dying. How incompetent is that IS-8 and that T-29 and that T-50? So we're going for a cap. Alright. It's going to help kill that T-43. And they're going for a cap. Crap. Alright. I better head up here to... Oh, they're going to try to reset. And we've got nobody to prevent at least 2 of them from capping, so... Alright, T-29's safe now. Let's go kill that T-43. Now it's possible I dicked around here too long. But I couldn't get the guys who were trying to reset our cap. So I decided I was going to go kill this T-43 and then get the guys who were trying to cap our base. And I might have made it, but probably not. But then a T-34 blows my tracks off anyway. And then they reset our cap. And so we lose. And that's an 800 experience defeat with 81,000 credits earned. In any other game, that would probably have been a 2,000 XP game. But of course, we lost it. Oh well, moving on. Now, it's not really fair to complain about my team in the previous game. I mean, the enemy team just did the right thing. And it only takes a couple of them to do the right thing at the right time, really swing the match in your favour. That T-29 and the 3001P just did exactly the right thing. They went back to reset our cap while their heavies carried on and captured our base. They outplayed us, so it's hard to complain. But it does leave a bitter taste in your mouth when you earn, 800 XP on a defeat. But, those are the games you get. This one, on the other hand, was incredibly frustrating. And we'll see why. Now, I don't play especially well in this one. In fact, I do play like a bit of a derp. But I do redeem myself towards the end. You'll see what I mean. Although it ends up just not being enough. The team was just that shit. So, we're here on Arctic. Tier 8 game. I'm in a Tier 8 tank. Should be good. But straight away, I'll look at the map and, well, look at the map. Is this giving you a warm fuzzy feeling? Because it ain't giving me a warm fuzzy feeling. One heavy tank taking the responsibility of defending the back door of the base. Ugh. This is not going to end well. This doesn't end well. Now, this I'm not particularly liking. And there you go. That's that inaccuracy of the gun for you. So there's some big nasty tanks around that corner, and none of these guys are going to come down here and help me. Not one of them. I'm going to have to deal with that Type 59 before I get any help whatsoever from these arseholes. Classic lemming train. Everybody runs in one direction and then panics as soon as they run into anything that threatens to shoot back at them. So you can pretty much imagine how this game ended up.
One of our tracks was hit. We nailed it bad.
Okay, that's not just a Type 59 shooting at me. Oh, shit.
One of our tracks
Great.
is down.
You can only angle your armour against so many threats.
Enemy is hit.
And now I'm down to 32%. What did I say, 32%? I meant 18%.
They're hit.
I could really use some help here, guys. 3 tanks shooting at me.
We've got them.
Come on. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Please bounce. No, I meant you bounce off me, not me bounce off you. Ah! Come on. Oh, thank Christ. Okay. And now they're backing off. And
Enemy armor is hit.
that's more like it. But look at the map. Southern end isn't looking too promising. Now I did kind of screw up a little here, and I don't notice that 3001H has been dead, and I'm thinking he's still up there waiting to shoot me in the flank as I come around the corner. But he's not. And then finally, the cavalry arrives. Keep an eye on the map, have a look at the southern end. I think it's around about now I realise that 3001H is in fact dead, and he's not about to one-shot me from the side.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
The front of the turret of a Tiger is never the best place to shoot him, but that's all I had. And now look at the map. Yeah, we're about to get capped. But that's alright, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 tanks of our own that can go and cap. Should be fine, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? I mean, I'll go back and reset. Okay, this T-3485 looks like he's coming back as well. We've got an IS who's not trying to reset, he's just trying to run away from our base that's being capped. So he's about as much use as tits on a fish. And yeah, I can get back and I can reset the cap. And we've got... And here's the lemming train. Watch the lemming train. Look at these guys. The 7 of them couldn't deal with these 2. Okay, come on, baby, come on, come on, come on. It's gonna be a tricky shot.
Enemy is hit.
Okay, spaced armor. I'm switching to high explosive. Oh, come on. Oh, that was lucky. Oh, I'd rather not have high explosives for this shot, but I'll find what I've got.
Penetration.
And switch back to AP. He's gotten hull down. I'm going to have to go back to... I'll fire this, go back to HE. You keep resetting this cap. So I've completely reset the cap once. High explosive loaded.
We've hit them hard.
Reset it again. What are these guys doing? Get in the friggin' cap circle, you idiots! Move! But they're not going to, are they?
Enemy is hit.
So we're winning 11-8. They only have 4 tanks left. And they still managed to get a draw, despite my resetting the cap. Twice. And that's the kind of teams I've been having the last few days. But it can't go on, can it? Oh, yeah, 40,000 credits even on that horrific match, by the way. And all I managed to do... Well, that's not bad, I suppose. Damage 5 tanks. But, yeah, I did 14 damage to the Super Pershing. So, yeah. Only 439 XP. But still, Type 59, premium tank. Tier 8, 40,000 credits, even on a useless result like that. And we did get a Defender medal out of it. But this team deserved to lose. Well, the Tiger 2 driver didn't. I certainly bloody didn't. But, hey, a draw's a loss for both teams. So, moving on. So, here we are on port. And I do like this map, but I'm still not quite used to it. And I always seem to end up starting on this side of the map. Whenever I played it on the test server, I always ended up starting on the southern end of the map, so I kind of know it more from the southern end. But, you know, I suppose it's broadening my experience. It's a good thing. I should point out, in case it wasn't obvious, by the way, in the last clip, while resetting the cap on the friendly base, managed to get myself into a hull down position, took 3 or 4 hits, all bounced off that turret. And there was some big old tanks shooting at me. So, I do like this map. I mean, just look at it, it's a maze. In the areas around the 2 spawn points, it's like driving around. It's like a fairground dodgem cart ride. So this fella manages to hit me, he manages to hit the T-54, and then he manages to drive into a solid object. Quality T-44 driver. This end of the map can be quite tricky, because there are a lot of dead ends here, and you can quite easily end up driving into some place that there's no way out of, and you have to back up, like that T-54 driver almost did. No, it's this way, mate. Come on. This way, turn right, and there you are. Don't go down there, that's a dead end as well. Turn left here, that's it. That's the one. There you go. And then watch where you're going so you don't drive into... Oh, oops. So we got 2 E50s, a Panther, 2 T30, 2 T44s, a Type 59. Basically all of our medium tanks. Now you'll notice that while I am possibly the easier kill, they're all shooting at the E50s instead of me. Do you know why that is? Because these E50s are dumbasses. And they keep showing the sides of their tanks to the enemy guns. or the back of their tanks to the enemy guns.
There. He's gone. Find another target.
Oh, must have set that pattern on fire. We did hit him in the engine block. So there's a kill. Ooh. IS-3 and a Lerva. Flanking fire.
That's gotta hurt.
You can see the damage output of this gun isn't great at all. 230 average, but it will do less than 200. And it just keeps missing.
Enemy is hit. Enemy brewed up.
Oh, another engine fire, 2 in one game. Oh, you could have let it burn a bit longer. I don't know, some people.
We nailed them bad.
It's looking all right here. We're winning 6-3, and we've pretty much got it on this. And this corner is where the whole game's going on. I mean, this is it. Hello, Mr. Jagdtiger. I see you trying to sneak around the corner, and I am definitely going to let you hit that T-44 instead of me. And then, oh, come on, get. There we go. Can I get back in time? Yes, I can. Yeah, you're going to kill that T-44 rather than shoot me, aren't you? I would too. That was lucky. And this was lucky too.
Nice shot.
Right through the side of the turret of a T-54. Didn't expect that to go through. Oh, and I take my first proper hit. Not entirely sure what it was from. It looked like that T-54 around the corner, but the hit indicator seemed to come from a different direction. It must have been the Lerva. Yeah, 338 damage. It was the Lerva. Aha. Okay, I'll use this dead T-44 as cover. We just have to hold these guys. Come on. Come on. Be brave. I know you want to. Oh, buggeration. And then 103. I don't like the... Right, I'm going to try to track him here. That's what I'm going for. It looks like I have. But look at that orange penetration indicator. Ooh, IS-3. Okay, all you can hit. Yep, bounced off my turret.
Looks like that one went right through.
Lerva bounced off my turret.
Penetration.
This is a good spot, but that T-54 is not going to let me stay here. Oh, should have killed that IS-3. Gotcha. Oh, I'm in trouble now. Alright, I'm going to go down fighting.
Enemy armor is damaged.
But I mean, look at this. Yeah,
That one didn't go through.
I'm screwed. I'm going to die. And in fact, I do. Now, you'd think, winning 12-8, that we couldn't possibly lose. I'll tell you what, it was close. Yeah, that Panther wasn't particularly smart. Yeah, let's try flank on to an enemy M103 and T-54, and maybe they won't one-shot kill me. Yeah, or maybe they will. Now the 3002 DB is playing a fighting retreat here, but he doesn't really stand much of a chance, and he's getting no help whatsoever from that 4502A. So they just kill him. M103 is trying to come back over there, but he's too far away to be able to help out right now. And we're capping. There goes the DB. Unfortunately, I can't really show you from... Oh, there it is. Okay, he kills the T-54, and then he shoots at... the frontal plate of an M103. Let me know how that works out for you, mate. Now, the M103 doesn't have the best gun. It doesn't need it to kill. 4502p. But hallelujah, we have won by capture. Oh, about time. So, 1600 XP game, 94,000 credits, and even though I was destroyed, the repairs are only 7,900. 22 shots fired, which is going to come to about, what, 4,000 credits. And that would be a Confederate medal. Yay! Which is nice. So yeah, we did a butt ton of damage to the enemy team there. 19 good hits, and I don't think... no, I think one of those hits bounced. The rest of them did, good solid damage. Took 7 hits. That number 4 there was a small collision at low speed. And of the hits that we took, well, not all of them did a massive amount of damage, but 1300 health. Tier 9 game. They've all got big guns. If they hit and penetrate, they're going to do a whack of damage, and you're not going to last long in one of these things. And face-hugging a T-54 with an M103 pumping shots into your ass, you're never going to last long. But there was a good fight on the corner, and it was a lot of fun. And finally, we got a win today in the Type 59, and it was a good win. Confederate, did a buttload of damage, killed a Patton, set 2 tanks on fire, walked away with 1600 XP. So that's been my day on the Type 59. I have been the mighty Jingles, and I hope you enjoyed the replays.